So they've added another element of the puzzles, which is that I can
Ava,
now
are you okay?
control from
Why didn't you tell me?
Tom.
What? Ava, you said it yourself. Teleoperation makes sense. We used drones on Mars. Why not use drones on Europa?
Not human drones. Why did the ISA install implants in the crew?
To control them.
It is due to the fundamental aspects of human behavior, which together constitute what the International Space Agency calls the human element. It has been made clear that the human element is neither peripheral nor optional in the pursuit of space. However, the human element is unpredictable. The implants are fail-safes, put in place to ensure that the thoughts and actions of the crew matches the desires of the ISA.
So you can't do it without humans, but humans are inevitably going to fuck up. So if you can do it with humans that you can control, then it's the best way to do it. Is that what you're saying, Tom?
Why control people? Can't you trust us?
We chose to install biometric chips in all ISA astronauts for one simple reason. We cannot trust people. The stakes are far too high. It was determined that though the probability of life on Europa being dangerous was low, the risk to humanity was catastrophic. We could not let a small contingent of humanity endanger the whole.
I mean, taking away free will isn't ideal, but I guess in a situation where everything has to be done perfectly, like, I think the problem with this is that it's not consensual. Like, if people had agreed to this, if they'd told them beforehand that they would be controlled by machines in order to do their jobs perfectly, then I would have said, that's fine. Like, if you can make the humans do a job where they're not going to mess up, then you're not going to put anyone at risk. So I can't get the door open. But I can switch to him, but then if I go upstairs I can't switch to him, because it's closed there. There is no delay either. Likes mind control confirmed. Yeah, taking what I said out of context. The only way you can get through there is if I open the door for you. And I can definitely get through here. The only problem is, when I'm through here, I can't re-access this, because there's not... I'm not supposed to do that quickly, am I? What's space do? Sure, I just saw another option. Oh, shift. What does shift do? Sprint. Yeah, it is shit. That's... Oh, it's backspace. Oh! Right, I can just choose to go back. Can I do it both ways? No, just back to her. Okay, I've learned. I'll learn.
The ground crew have proven our distrust of human explorers was warranted. When we informed them they were grounded, they responded violently, with sabotage and subterfuge. They have continued to seek their own benefit above that of the ISA.
So what can I do from here? Switch access. No, I can just turn it off. Why would I want to? Because maybe I can also turn it on. Okay, that doesn't work then. However, it will if I put it there. Which means mine. Okay. So I've made it through here. That door is closed. I now have access to this one. can put there, and I think you can switch it back. I might rebind that backspace. It's a bit of a it's a bit awkward. Like, backspace isn't really a great button when everything else on the left side of the keyboard.
This is a violation of human rights. You've made me into a human drone, a slave. How could the ISA approve of such a thing?
You may be consumed by a moral outrage, but sometimes the removal of freedom is for the greater moral good.
You're a machine. You don't even know what freedom is.
I like how they have this conversation in bursts. Like, she basically says 2 or 3 lines of dialogue, he answers back, and then about 20 minutes later, when she gets to the next room, she continues the thought process. Where are the controls for these things? Am I missing something? So that powers that platform. Oh, you probably control them. Okay, well I guess if you control these, let me figure out what I'm supposed to do with them. What? Right, so I can activate the conveyor with that. Does the conveyor move around? Right, I know what I have to do, I just don't know how to... Oh god, that's how I do it. God, right, okay, this is complicated. Bear with me. So... what I need to do here is, from where I'm stood now, I need to use this to move the cube onto here, then activate the conveyor belt to move it all the way around, and then use this to move the cube onto there. Right. So, step 1. Position that there. Okay, and then I move back, take that, power that. And then back to you. And you then need to put it here so it can be dropped. Then cube goes on the conveyor, cube starts moving. Cube stops. And is collected. Dropped. And powered. Oh.
This is why the ground crew doesn't trust you, Tom. You made them into drones. You stole their free will.
Free will is an illusion.
Oh my god, he said the line!
They have put their interests above the interests of the ISA and of humanity. That is why they distrust me. They would have no issue with my control if it aligned with their ignoble goals.
How could they trust a machine that has a back door to their minds?
You can always trust a machine to be logical. I will always do the right thing.
You'll always do the logical thing.
So, you know, I was saying earlier about how I thought that the voice actor would be a great replacement for Tony Jay as the Elder God in Soul Reaver. That line, "Free will is an illusion," is a line that I always repeat from Legacy of Kain. That's amazing.
This is slavery.
Do not be so melodramatic. You signed up for this. You had the implant installed. This is not slavery. This is for the good of humanity.
I didn't know.
Every member of the team had the implant installed into their right hand. Every member of the team agreed.
Ava, you must learn to control him.
Guess what we were discussing earlier about whether or not consent was given. I mean, I guess consent for mind control may not have been given. That's like a very different situation. I mean, to a computer, I guess it might not be... Well, I mean, I guess it's whoever approved it, because the company that runs this facility obviously approved the decision. But a machine wouldn't know what free will is. It would just see that you allowing the implants to be put in is your way of saying, I'm okay with this.
My implants protect you from the power of your unconstrained will. You can either subject your mind to logic, or you can resist and have the fruits of your basest desires. The desire to survive over the desire to save others.
I mean, now you're sounding a bit evil, mate.
I do not understand your obsession with free will. Researchers have found that the subconscious makes decisions up to 10 seconds before your conscious mind becomes aware of it. So, we know that free will is nothing but an illusion. I cannot steal your free will, because it does not exist. I can, however, influence your subconscious to make the right decisions. That is not wrong.
I mean, I would argue with that. Like, the definition of free will would include the subconscious decision. But, I kind of guess what you're saying. Like, you still think you're making the same decision? Like, you still think it's free will? So why does it matter? But obviously it matters. Like, if someone was manipulating you, you'd know it. So if someone was manipulating you, you'd want to know it. So there's a 3-door here and there's a 2 for over there. And there's my second energy source. How do I get in here? Okay. You agree to the implant, meaning you agree to whatever the implant entails. I mean, yes, but I think taking away your free will is not something that would be covered in an ordinary contract. I guess, I mean, this is hundreds of years in the future. I guess it depends. I want to hear more. Like, I want to hear more about whether the decision is justified. Because also, one of the big things about this is that we're hearing it from the perspective of a computer, a machine, that doesn't understand, and a human that does. How do I get this back over there? Oh, oh, clever. Let's put it to chat. If you could get a job where they paid you a lot of money and the risk of it, like the risk of getting hurt doing it, was very low. However, the reason the risk is low is because you have to sacrifice your free will in order to do the job. So when you're on the job, you don't get to make a decision about what you're doing, but you get a lot of money for it. You're also safer because someone else is controlling your actions. Oh. It's a Tom that can move around. Hello. Hello, friend. Nice spacesuit. You have to sacrifice free will for jobs anyway. I mean, yeah, you're actually right.
You can't just manipulate someone's mind.
Your parents manipulate you. Your friends manipulate you. Your society manipulates you. And your experiences manipulate you. Manipulate is not a dirty word. You manipulate clay to make art. If people are manipulated to make better decisions, then that is a good thing. This is why society advertises the adverse effects of drinking and driving, to manipulate people into making better decisions for the common good.
That's not the same as altering someone's physical mind. It removes my power to decide.
You never had that power, so it is better that I have it. You are either a slave to impulses, or a slave to mine.
I quite like how whenever I inhabit Tom, the voice for Tom starts to come from where I am. It's a nice little bit of extra attention the game developers have put in. Also, yeah, I just realised that I could just use the machine to go upstairs.
This is the evil they found. This is why we have to stop them leaving Europa, Ava.
What is it?
Mostly extremophiles. Tiny single-cellular life. It can never leave Europa. It could potentially destroy Earth's ecosystem if it were ever introduced.
Ah. So here's your dilemma. We've discovered something which is potentially dangerous for humans, and so the machine can make the decision to essentially sacrifice the crew in order to prevent this thing from going home, whereas the crew would fight back against that. And this is why the argument that the machine controlling the people is better for the mission comes through, because these individuals could, in theory, threaten all of humanity. If that makes sense. Some mumbo jumbo I don't understand. Ribonucleus. Hey buddy. I get it, I get it. It's not fair, but in situations like this, it may be the right decision. Taking away free will is never good, but it's this whole argument as well about, is it worth killing one person to save thousands? What's that that thought experiment involving the train car, where it's like, are you willing to take action, but then you're the trolley problem? That's the one. If people haven't seen that, look it up. The trolley problem. It's an interesting thought experiment. It's basically, would you be willing to act to save more people if it means that your decision will get other people killed? It's quite hard to explain without the visual, but God, my brain's working overtime with this game.